Hi everyone, so we're going to look at how we can use some of these more advanced retouching tools in order to correct some distractions in our photography. Now this is a tool that is often used and misused, I would say. So what I often do when I'm using this tool is that it's usually something that is coming from the photographer, like a bad angle like this, or something that is um, out of the conformity of what the composition is asking for. So for me, that's just this awkward angle on the edge of the arm here. And what we're doing for this is we're going to be using a smart filter. And so to do that, we have to turn our background layer from the background to a smart filter. So we go to our filter pull down menu and we'll select convert for smart filters. And it'll ask you to enable re-editable smart filters, and that is yes. And you'll notice that the background layer turns to layer 0, and then you have the smart object icon next to it. So smart objects are great in Photoshop because it gives you the ability to be flexible with things like filters, and that's something that we really want to do here. So in this case, I'm going to select filter and then liquify, and I'm going to minimize everything that's happening on the right hand side of the liquify dialog box. I'm just concentrating on the first tool, which is the forward warp tool. Now what we want to be really aware of is the size, density, and pressure of the forward warp tool. And we can see that if we have a lot of pressure and we do something, then it's too dramatic. It uses a lot of the information and it stretches it to a way that you don't really want in your photography. If I change the pressure down to about 50, if I change the density all the way up and I click and drag, you can see that it improved it somewhat, but the density is still at 100, and that's creating a very dramatic effect with my tool. So I'm going to come down on my density, and I'm going to come down on my pressure to about 20 for each one. Then I'm also going to be using a variety of large brushes and small brushes to change this effect. So I'm just going to click and drag ever so slightly, and I'm clicking and dragging several times here. And I just want to click within the arm and on the outside of the arm as well. So as I'm making work of this, you can see that we are manipulating what is inside of what we're trying to fix and outside of what we're trying to fix. So this is where you want to be careful with how dimples show up or irregularities in the contour. But that's pretty good, and you can see our before and after here, and we've manipulated that. We can just hit OK, and that would apply that correction to the photograph, and it's just about keeping that line of the shoulder consistent. And what I would do here would be create a transparent layer, come with my spot healing brush, and then just correct some of the background that we pulled away from the edge here. And so you can see that that took very little time, and we have a seamless edit.